We're looking at the backside of the visitor center at the River Raisin National Battlefield Park. They've got quite a collection of history inside the building, and they've got park rangers that will help you with all your questions about the history of this area. There's also brochures you can pick up and a few trails that have these interpretive signs to tell you about different parts of all the battles that were fought in the War of 1812. This, of course, is right along the River Raisin, which you can see right beyond those picnic tables. And just a quick history. The War of 1812 was raging on, and in January of 1813, the battle began here. So the Americans wanted to gain control of Detroit once again. The British and Canadian and Native American forces that were banded together had control of Detroit, and the Americans thought that this part of Frenchtown, which is what they called this area back then, would be the first step in regaining that control. So in January of 1813, the Americans attacked the British over here and took them by surprise, and actually were successful. And the British retreated up north about 20 miles to Brownstown. So if you actually go to Brownstown, there are signs that talk about the River Raisin, even though that's not where the River Raisin is. There's a lot of history of where the British were, and there's interpretive signs there too. So after the British kind of had regained their thoughts, they charged this area again a few days later, and they were successful in defeating the Americans. And unfortunately for the Americans, that resulted in a lot of death and also a lot of captured prisoners. So the real kicker, I guess you'd call it, in this battle was after all the Americans were captured, they were massacred the next day. So that is where the term "Remember the Raisin" comes from, and it became the rallying cry for the Americans as they were changing their strategies and becoming more successful in defeating British, Canadian, and Native American forces. So again, this is in Monroe. It's definitely worth a check out. You can learn all kinds of history here, and they do interpretive events occasionally, also kayaking along the river. So you'll learn all kinds of things when you come visit the River Raisin National Battlefield Park.